Thanks so much for downloading the episode today. On the show, we have returned from our little mini vacation. We recap what we did on our Memorial Day weekends. We talk Bottlerock and Napa and some fun at the park. All of this plus our ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you and enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
I drank way too much alcohol.
Paula?
I am a winner for being a loser.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. We are back after a week break. That was robust.
Mine?
Yes.
I thought it was a scared Ugg. It was like,
oh, I'm afraid. I forgot how to do this. Episode 279. Welcome, welcome. We are back after our little break from the Memorial Day week. I am glad we took the break. And it was so funny, Paula. I would say, like a couple of days ago, I started having dreams about setting up my microphone and setting up everything. Because I was like anticipating getting ready to go.
Yeah.
And of course, because we're human, there was a part of me going, maybe we just won't do it anymore. Maybe we'll just stop. But I would miss it a lot. I don't want to stop. So I was glad that the day had finally come that we got to come back and talk a little bit about life. Why is it when you and I stop recording, or we take a break, doesn't it feel like the whole world just kind of falls apart?
Yeah, it kind of does.
It feels like everything that we could talk about happens when we're not planning a recording session. It's like there's so many things that we could talk about that happen, and then by the time we record, they're no longer important. It's so weird.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so really quick, I want to wish our producer Deb a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
June 1st. He is still not 50, so I can't make fun of him yet. But I look forward to his birthday because our birthdays are about 2.5 weeks apart. And so for those 2.5 weeks, we're the same age. And he loves it.
Oh.
He loves that I can't say he's older than me. It's something that we have, this thing that he has had since we started seeing each other, how for 2.5 weeks a year, we're the same age and he is not the old man. And I hate it so much because when I have a birthday, I go through a depression and there's nothing I can do about it. I have tried to convince myself that it's a good thing to age, and I try to embrace my new age every year. And every day I talk about my ultimate death, or how some part of my body is falling apart, or how I suddenly have aged dramatically in an hour since my birthday. I can't seem to do it. And I asked Daryl about it the other day. I said, man, I really seem to be struggling with my birthday this year. And he's like, you do this every year. And I said, I do? He goes, yes, every year you go through how you're old and unattractive and, you're just going to shrivel up and become a raisin of a person and your day old bread. And he's parroting back all of the things that I say. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, when does this end? When will this end? He goes, usually around my birthday. I said, okay, cool. So we're almost there.
Good.
So,
you only have to put up with it for 2 weeks.
Yes. And I said, all right, so happy birthday to producer Deb. And in honor of his birthday, I'm getting my teeth cleaned.
Oh.
So, yes, happy birthday.
Excellent. I find around my birthday, plastic surgery looks more and more like a reality
more
instead
appealing.
of just like a, like, haha, yeah, whatever, plastic surgery. But now I'm like, that really could happen if I wanted it to. Maybe those facelifts don't look so bad.
I have a credit card with a limit, a nice limit.
They have those medical loans where you could get them.
Can you imagine telling somebody, like, yes, well, I got a loan and I had my face done.
Yeah.
That probably happens all the time. It probably happens more often than we know. I have to say that I've always thought that a facelift would be the way to go. But you would really, not you personally, but me too. But you would really have to find the platinum level doctors to do it. I wouldn't want to go to some quack to have that work done.
Yeah, no. You'd have to do your research.
Yes, and I think you get what you pay for. So I probably wouldn't go to Mexico or anything. I've heard of that. People doing that, trying to save a buck. I'm like, get your face. Don't do that.
They come back looking like Barbie.
You only get one face, no matter how many face transplants they attempt to do in this country. You only get one real face. So don't.
Yeah, really.
Don't. Stay away from chimpanzees and Mexico, because those are the only two risks that you take.
Yeah, really.
When you want to do face work.
They both want to slash your face off.
They just want to rip your face off. I just can't imagine. So anyway, I think a facelift would, okay, minus all of the risks of doing anything at all to your body cosmetically. I like the idea of a facelift or even a partial, because, you get rid of the jowls, you tighten your jawline, all that stuff. I think I'm with you on that. I don't think there's any amount of fillers that can fix that.
Yeah, I need the eyes done. Like my eyebrows are starting to look like eyelashes. They're just sagging.
Like basset hounds?
Like I'm looking tired all the time.
Yes.
Maybe I am tired all the time, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I do.
Like I just kind of wonder, like, what's the point of eyeshadow anymore?
I have noticed I have circles under my eyes that I never had before, like darker circles.
Oh my God, I've had dark circles for years.
I haven't. I never did. And so now I'm like, I've tried the elixirs, I've tried the eye creams, the serums and all of those things that they suggest that women of a matronly age use to minimize that stuff. And they don't work. And most of them burn.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm like, this skin is like gecko skin. I don't want stuff on there to singe it off. Like the last thing I need is to look like a pink eye. I'm like, I don't want it.
And God forbid it does get in your eye and you probably give yourself pink eye.
You'll just be blind, it's like, well, maybe that's better. I suddenly have them, and Paula, I swear I have no less than 3 different concealers for under my eye, depending on the level of darkness.
Do you use all of them, or you just use one of them?
I choose based on the level of darkness of the day, and so I have, if in full honesty, I have absolutely used all 3.
Wow.
Trying to get it. The problem is that if you do too much, now you're enhancing all the fine lines, and it looks cakey and it doesn't look right. And I've seen photos of me with too much concealer on, and I either look like a raccoon from far away because I've got too much concealer on around my eyes, or it's cakey and I can see every single line on my face.
Yeah.
Or under my eyes. And that's not even natural. So I have to just say, well, I guess I'm just going to have a hue of darkness under my eye, because I would rather have that than a bunch of lines that no one can see unless I enhance it with too much makeup. Getting older sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Just think of all the work we have to go through to be presentable is ridiculous.
And then who is it? CoverGirl. They have this commercial out where this, like, how old is she? 68 years old or something like that. And she's just like, who said that you have to stop looking beautiful at a certain age? And she's got like the grayish white hair. And
is it Helen Mirren?
No, it wasn't Helen Mirren. It was just some model lady.
Oh, okay.
She's gorgeous, and I'm just like, God. I'm like, I wish I looked that good now. I don't.
And you're 40 years older than me. But I also have to say that I don't necessarily want to look like a lot of the housewives, where they all look like shiny ducks. They all have that same face.
Well, they all have those giant lips and
shiny foreheads and all that. I don't want to look like that either. So.
What's with the giant lips? That's the part I don't get. Do they think it makes them look better?
I have to say, I was stalking the other day on Facebook, and I don't even know how I got to this person. They have no relation to me. I knew no one they knew. But have you ever done that, where you just end up on strangers' Facebook pages?
Yes.
I don't know how or why that happens, but I did it, and I ended up, and I was looking at this dude, and he was with his assumed wife or girlfriend, and it was his profile photo. His wife's lips were so big. I said, what the hell am I looking at? I mean, they were cartoony large, and they were not natural. Not at all. How do you kiss that? How do you do anything? I don't even understand. Like, I don't get it. How that looks appealing. And then what was worse is, like, her mouth was open, like she was going, ha ha, Oh man, it was not pretty. It looked like a big red anus or something. Not even, no, like a big red, I don't know, like inner tube or something. It was really not pretty. Very unattractive. So speaking of attractive, Daryl and I on the Memorial Day weekend, I assume you had a great Memorial Day weekend relaxing with the family. Did you guys do anything fun?
Well, because Victor gets paid once a month, as we get towards the end of the month,
yes,
our activities become more of like a public thing. So we went to a park. And,
did you barbecue hot dogs?
No, actually, there was quite a few families there. And
what, did you guys steal off of others?
No.
Did you guys glean off of other people?
No. What I'm saying, well, first of all, I would never go to a park and barbecue. I know what you mean. I could do that. We went and Victor and Ryan played football. Olivia, they have the little water park thing where it shoots water up from the ground. Mm-hmm. And so she played on that and she made a friend, of course. And they were playing for a while there. And then I was just sitting in the hot sun doing nothing.
It was hot. Wasn't it? It was
hot.
Really hot that day. So Daryl and I went to the Napa Valley. We went to Bottlerock, which is a festival. I think this is our third time attending Bottlerock. Now, with any festival, tickets are pricey, but they're not so ridiculous that you can't buy them and enjoy. Like, especially now when you look at how expensive it is to go to a concert.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. I think a one-day ticket was like $150, which sounds expensive, but not when you think that I paid $100 to take per ticket to see our mother and I and Stephanie to go see Faith Hill in July. So, I mean, it's basically the same.
I can't believe you paid money to do that.
Well, just because you hate Tim McGraw doesn't mean that Faith Hill won't be fun, but it's all right. Hey, look, I asked you to go multiple times. You were like, I'd rather eat glass. No problem. Not a problem. But, and honestly, Paula, the reason why we're doing this is for our mom. We're going because Mom wants to go. It's not because I have a hard on for Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. Anyway, so we went to Bottlerock on Sunday, which was the big day because it's the final day of the festival. It's a 3-day thing. And Bruno Mars is the closing act for the festival.
How exciting.
I loved it. I was so excited to see Bruno Mars. Now, the problem with the Bottlerock Festival is it's grown tremendously in the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. So last year when Daryl and I went, it was the Foo Fighters and they closed it out. And it was epic. God, they're so good live. Anyway, I've seen them a couple times now. They're amazing. Mm-hmm. But the way that the main stage is set up is it looks now like a shoebox. So like there's VIP on both sides of the stage. And when I'm talking VIP on both sides of the stage, I'm talking like the size of a football field length. And then you go upstairs. So you're above the crowd and you can see the stage. The thing is that if you are at the very end of the VIP section, you're still really far away from the stage and you have to rely on the big screens to see anything.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a difference. Well, first of all, I could not get VIP. They sell out so fast that you just can't get them.
Wow.
So we did not get, we were in general, we got GA again, which was also shocking because Bruno Mars sold out in like 3 minutes.
Wow.
Somehow what happened is people released tickets and I was able to snatch some before somebody else. And that's how we got Sunday tickets. And that was, that was probably 6 months ago. It sold out a long time ago. So getting the tickets though is not the hard part. The hard part is getting lodging. Is finding a place to stay. Napa is not very big.
Yeah.
And there aren't that many hotels. So luckily we have a connection with one of the hotels there. Daryl's cousin she's a manager at one of the hotels. She said there was one cancellation for one room on that day. And she gave it to us and we had to pay a premium for it. But it was worth it because we could literally walk to Bottlerock. So we didn't have to worry about getting on a bus or getting a cab or anything. Mm-hmm. And so it's worth it, except when you're wearing cute sandals or, whatever. So, of course, I got a blister immediately. So we went over there. I drank way too much alcohol. I drank way too much gin. I had a lot of gin drinks.
Gin?
Yes.
Is that your new drink now?
Well, it's so refreshing when like a gin and tonic or a gin with ginger beer or anything with a fizzy and on ice. It tastes like lemonade to me.
What's with everybody in the gin thing now? It's like becoming a thing again.
I don't know, but my very first gin and tonic was last year at Bottlerock. Daryl said, I want you to try this. I think you'll like it. I'm like, I hate gin. Why did you get this? He goes, you don't know if you hate gin. Just try it. So I tasted it. I said, wow, this is really good. Well, what's good is the tonic. The tonic is basically like soda. So it's sweet and citrusy, and the gin it does have a taste, but it's kind of a bitter taste. Mm-hmm. So it kind of tastes like grapefruit soda to me. And I went, oh, and I love grapefruit soda. So I drank that and I thought it was delicious. So we experimented all last summer on different gin drinks. And so this year we said, well, we have to have at least one gin and tonic, to celebrate, mm-hmm. because this is the first, a year anniversary of me liking gin and tonics. So Hendrick's, which is a big brand of gin, sponsored a big area by the culinary stage, and which is where Snoop Dogg created his world record gin and juice.
I saw the picture.
Yeah, and not kidding, Hendrick's ran out of gin. So by Sunday, when we got there, we got 3 cocktails, and they ran out of gin.
Because of what Snoop Dogg did?
I don't know. It would make sense, though. I mean, how much
was
gin?
Huge.
It was huge. But they're so good, and it was really hot, and so I kept drinking them going, oh, these are so delicious. And so at some point, Daryl has a client that he works with. They are the main sponsor of Bottlerock, which is Jam Cellars. They make butter Chardonnay. They also have a new product called Candy Rosé, and they made these things called frosés. And they make it out of their candy rosé, and it's just basically like a wine margarita. And they are amazing. And so with that...
Those all sound good.
They were delicious. And so with that and the, copious amounts of gin I had, I was so hungover the next day. I was so hungover. And Joe's like, well, I feel great. I'm like, well, good for you. I don't. I feel horrible. He's like, we really didn't have that much to drink, and we walked everything. We walked everywhere. And I said, look, you and I are different creatures, okay? I don't drink like you do, and I certainly don't have the tolerance that I used to, so it was a lot to me. At one point, we were waiting for Bruno Mars to come out, and Daryl said, oh, well, I brought a blanket. We can sit down and, have this little burger that we got. And I said, all right. He brought the cat blanket. It is a blanket that you put on top of a cat bed. And I said, why? What is this? He goes, well, I thought it was a Giants blanket, our San Francisco Giants blanket. I go, we don't have a San Francisco Giants blanket. This is a cat bed blanket. This literally is for a cat bed. So he's like, well, do you want to sit on it? I'm like, yes, of course I do. So I sat on it.
Was it clean?
Yes, I had just washed it. I just washed it to give it to Mackenzie because it's her cat blanket. God, I couldn't believe it. He's like, I can't believe I brought a cat bed blanket. I'm like, oh, I believe it. I believe it completely. So anyway, inhaled the burger. And when I don't know if it's been a long time, but when you're really hammered and you need to eat, there's nothing more primal than watching someone who is drunk inhaling food. Have you? Right?
Right.
So I'm sitting now, that I've been doing a lot of yoga lately. So I was sitting in basically a yoga pose. I was sitting in the pose where you put your feet together and you're sitting Indian style kind of. So I'm sitting like that, and I am eating every crumb of this burger like I've never eaten in my life. I could feel my eyes were slits. I could feel the primal need to shovel it in as quickly as possible. And at the very back of my mind, there was still a part of my sober brain going, you look ridiculous right now.
God. Do you ever try and will yourself sober?
Yes. I've tried.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It makes it worse. So Bruno Mars comes out. There's 40 or 50,000 people all crammed into this one area. Because like I said, it's like a shoebox. So there's the stage and then everybody from the front all the way to the back. And we're all watching. And it's awesome. But it sucks for me as a diehard concert goer from my 20s. I'm used to being in the front.
Right.
We tried. We spent 45 minutes walking towards the front and we weren't even halfway there. It was so crowded and there were so many people. I was like, you know what? We're just going to have to let it go, because not only is it super dangerous, it is going to take us an hour to get there. And then we'll be lucky to even get to the front, because they're getting younger and younger the closer we get, because these are people that have been standing at the front of that stage for 8 hours waiting for Bruno Mars. So we're never going to get there. They're not going to give it up. So we just need to let it go. So we went back to the back. And Jam Cellars has their own little area. They had their own Jam Cellar stage. It was called the Jam Pad. We saw some amazing bands there, and we had access to it. So we were up a little bit, and we could see everything. It just was far away, which was, that's always disappointing in any show. But we were able to watch the whole thing, and he sang all the songs that we love, and the production was amazing, and there was just, everything was so good. He is so good. He's
very talented.
Oh my God. I'm so grateful that I got to see him.
I love Bruno Mars.
I do too. And there was,
he is really ugly, but I absolutely love him.
Yeah. His girlfriend is a hottie. He
has a girlfriend?
Oh, yes. In fact, that was what was funny is I'm standing there and Daryl's behind me, and me and 3 other women are leaning against the railing watching. And this one woman turns to me and she goes, "How old is Bruno Mars?" And now let me tell you, when older women, and when I mean older, I mean like in your 30s and 40s, we get this sultry tone when we're drooling over a younger gentleman. She turns to me and she goes, in her messy bun and her drunken frosé look, she's like, "How old is Bruno Mars?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let me look." And I whip it up. I go, "He's 32. She turns to her girlfriend. She's like, "Guys, he's 32. He's totally okay. We could totally do him." And so we're all standing there, and I'm looking at my phone. I go, "Oh, but he has a girlfriend." They're like, "Oh, he has a girlfriend? Oh, we'll take her. No problem." So the 4 of us are standing there going, "Yeah, we would do it. Look at the way he moves those hips." That's how it went the whole time. It was awesome. It was so fun.
Sounds like something we would say.
Oh, it was great. It was great. I'm like, oh, my 4 new best friends. It was so funny. And then he was wrapping it up. And he had sung all the songs I wanted to hear. Now, there is a rapper named Warren G. And he was doing a special show at the Silent Disco. Now, a silent disco is when you put on headphones and you get to hear through the headphones what's going on stage.
Oh, you did that last year.
We did, and it was really fun. Warren G was putting on a big one with another, like a duel, because there were 3 channels. And so you could pick whatever channel you wanted to listen to. White Panda was another group that was there, and they were amazing. And so there must have been 1,000 people near this stage. And so we were able to make our way up to the front on this one, and we got to watch Warren G do his thing. And Daryl was in heaven because he knows all the stuff, because it's all old school rap, and the DJ and the MC and all this was going on. And we partied until they closed it down. It was so amazing. Old school rap is the way to go. I mean, it's so good. And so we did that, and then we were making our way out, and I said, you know what, it's like just the cavalcade of people are leaving, so we sat on a picnic bench and just kind of waited it out. Now, this is a family affair now. There's a lot of kids. God, fucking I hate it. There are so many kids. But, I can't judge. Bruno Mars is somebody that everybody wants to see. He's, I guess, considered family friendly. And so everybody wanted to bring their kids and enjoy it.
All his songs are about sex.
I know, but, he's on all the kid shows. He's Nickelodeon favorite type of person. So there was a lot of families there. But this family came by. It was, I would say they were probably like in their early 20s, this couple, and then the parents. Clearly the son's parents, they were older than us. And the son was struggling, and his girlfriend was holding him, and he kept stopping like he was going to throw up, and he stopped right in front of us. And I'm like, keep walking.
You better not.
I'm all, keep walking. Please do not do this here. So she walked up another 10 feet, And the dad came and picked up his son. And it's like, let's go, son. And he walked out. I'm like, God damn. You know you had a day if you're partying that hard with your parents.
Jeez.
Yeah, the only other thing, and I asked Daryl about it because he's a boob man. I said, there were a lot of boobs, right? Like, there was a lot of exposed breasts. Like, not nips necessarily, but there was a lot of very sternum exposed cleavage. And he said, yeah, there really was. And I said, they were pretty though, right? I mean, he goes, no, they weren't. They were small. I said, okay. But there was a lot of girls with dresses, maxi dresses, and shirts, blouses, or whatever that tied literally below the boob line at the sternum. And their boobs were like, I mean, they were just begging to be seen. I thought it was sexy, but, you know, I mean, I couldn't do it. If I did it, it would look pornographic because my boobs are so big.
Well, I mean, I think guys prefer it to be a little bit more discreet because they like to, I mean, this is just my opinion. They like the thought of what else is in there, you know? But when you kind of just put it all out there, then they just think you're slutty.
Well, you know, the thing is it was slutty, but I think women are beautiful, not in that way, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it personally. I think it's beautiful. I think women are gorgeous, and if you have a nice frame, if you have a nice body, or if you can get away with wearing something where it just barely hugs the cleavage, I'm all for it. I would love to dress like that. That's my thing. Maybe I'm slutty. I don't know, but I think it's really pretty, and it's too bad that when I do it, I get like, put a sweater on. Whereas when somebody else does it, when they have like a size B boob, it's nothing, you know.
It's true.
I mean, and I could, but then you get the wrong kind of attention. It's not just like, wow, that's a really beautiful look. It's more like, wow, what is she doing? Woo! Did she try that on in the front of a mirror? You know, but
it's true.
You know, at least Daryl was actually honest in that he noticed all the boob cleavage. And when I say boob cleavage, I mean, I don't mean push up the line going down the chest. I mean, the only thing you're not seeing is the outer part of the boob and the nip. Everything else was exposed.
Jeez.
Well, it's a festival. You know, there have been festivals where women are walking around in thongs, you know? So it was pretty conservative considering.
Did you see anybody topless in body paint?
No, I saw a lot of glitter, but no glitter boobs or glitter butts. I was kind of hoping, because I was going to take a picture and send them to you.
So, I mean, that's what you would think of when I hear festival.
Yeah, this festival is a little more chill. And that was the other thing. No fights, no violence, no yelling, nothing. The worst thing that happened is a behemoth of a woman walked by me and knocked my drink out of her hand with her ass. And that made me mad. But she kept walking and she didn't know she did it. Everyone around me saw it happen. And of course, I was like, hey! You knocked my drink!
Lord ass! You owe me a drink!
I'm like, she knocked my hand out of my glass. Yeah, whatever I said. There's like, we'll just get you another one. I'm like, no, I think I'm done. She did me a favor.
She did me a solid.
Yeah, she really did. But it was a fun 24 hours. I was, you know, the next morning I was super hungover. So we went out immediately and located some spicy Mexican food, which always helps.
Yeah.
Authentic Mexican Coca-Cola, which settles the tummy. And we were home by like 3, I think, the next day.
That's good.
Yeah, it was fine. Really was like peace and love, which was great. And I'm a bit of a hippie, so I didn't mind it at all.
Sounds like it.
That was our Memorial Day. But it was fun. I mean, we didn't go to a park. By the way, Paula, can I just tell you, barbecuing in the park to me is as bad as camping. I would never want to do it either. Like, I'm with you on that. Never.
I just don't see the thrill. I mean, I get it that the kids can run around and you just don't have to watch them if you don't want to.
Right.
I watch my children, but that's just because I watch out for the little shits that are being, you know, assholes.
Yes.
And, you know, it's always the kids that are too old to be playing at a park, that are always running around and like pushing kids out of the way, or, you know,
yes.
Whatever it is that they're doing. And of course they have no mother in sight anywhere.
No, they rode their bike there. and they're just being hooligans. But you know what's funny too is why do they always gravitate towards the real sweetie pies, like the 6 and 7-year-old boys who are just peacefully enjoying their time together playing with their best friend from school, and then these big gross 10 11-year-olds come over and just ruin everything. I hate that so much.
I'm like, you're too big to be here. Go somewhere.
It's like, why don't you Sunsplash?
Right.
Go to the water park. God.
I mean, and then there was like that little area where there's like, you know, the babies and they're playing in the water, having fun.
Yes.
And then they go over there and they start sitting on their water. And I'm like, get the hell out of here, you giant child.
I struggle with those water things.
Oh, as soon as they come sputtering up, I smell instant chlorine. So.
Yeah, because of all the fecal matter in there. But you know what? Olivia didn't end up with pink eyes, so all is well, right?
Well, you could be like Ryan's friend, Sam,
What?
where they have a Xbox and a pool and they have ribs for dinner and, you know, all sorts of fun things. And Ryan spent the night there and, you know.
He enjoyed the high life.
He enjoyed the high life in the high neighborhood. And
he was so high.
And I was just like, well, why don't you have Sam come over and spend the night where just the night before, 2 houses over, someone had their house broken into.
Why don't you invite him over? We'll have ramen. And I'll even use the flavor packets.
And we'll fry up some hamburgers because our barbecue is broken.
Rusted. Oh,
and,
no.
You know, you guys can play football in the rocks and just watch out for the dog poop.
Oh, God. Paula, stop it. Stop it. Don't.
This is my reality.
Not every day, just this week. Just today.
If you guys get hot, we'll go to the park.
We'll go to the park and barbecue. We'll barbecue
some water.
We'll barbecue our Hy-Vee hot dogs.
Hey, we use Hebrew National.
There are limits to our poverty, all right? God damn it. We will always have Hebrew Nationals in this house. We may use white bread for buns, but we will always have Hebrew National.
That's right.
We are not animals. God, that's horrible. Okay, well, let's do our ugly and awkward moment of the week.
My kids are out of school now, but the last week of school, I got an email from Olivia's teacher saying your child will be receiving an award at the awards assembly on Wednesday.
Is this her first award?
Yes. And so I was so excited because they only give out 3 awards at the awards assembly.
Yeah, so that's a big one then.
Yeah. And so I was so excited, and it says, you know, please let us know if you'll be coming to the awards assembly at 8:30, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll be there.
Like,
so
wait, 8:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
I know they do them so early.
I drop them off at 8, but I'm usually in my pajamas, so I guess I can just, you know, put on regular clothes and
I guess I'll just go ahead and lip and clip my ass to the
put
awards
my hair
assembly.
in a ponytail and put on some lip gloss.
Yep.
I'm sitting there in the chair, and her class comes walking in, and then she turns around and she's like, "Mom?"
Oh,
you know, like, what are you doing here?
So now
and
she knows.
I said, I told you I was coming to your assembly. And so she's just like kind of like looking at me like weird, like, and so
Like, why are you here and why are you dressed with makeup on?
Anyways, so they do the first graders first because it's a first grade, second grade award assembly.
Oh, okay.
So they do the first graders first. They have a male teacher that. So wait, let me explain where she's sitting. I'm sitting in like the first row of the parent seats in the back.
Yes, which are in the back, right?
Her class is in the last row. So she's literally like right in front of me.
You could literally kick her in the butt.
Her class, her whole class is right in front of me. And so one of the first grade male teachers, he says, I just wanted to let everybody know before I give up my awards that I have no favorite students. And so he says, my first favorite student is blah, blah, blah. So he was being funny. So, and so by his third award, he sauld so should I do it? And so I'm like, yes. Could I say, because I thought everybody was going to say it.
You did it
I was the only one.
Oh my God.
And my God. Olivia's whole class turns around and looks at me.
You're like, who are you?
And like some have glasses on and they're kind of looking at me like cross-eyed, like, what are you doing?
Did Olivia turn around?
No, I don't think she heard me.
Oh God.
But it was just, they're and then they start staring at me like, why are you doing that? Like.
Did the teacher look at you too?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh
but I
God,
was
Paula.
just.
That is so funny. I can't even. Oh my God. Well, did he do it?
Yes, he did it, of course. But I was just so embarrassed because I thought there was going to be other people who would say something. But apparently, no one.
Oh my God. That is so funny.
Everybody wasn't as enthusiastic about the awards assembly as I was. So.
Well, this was your first one.
Yeah, that's
They've been doing this all year. You've just never been, so this is all new to you.
So I was like, yes.
Oh God, that is horrifyingly funny. Like, just so funny.
Oh my God.
I would have been laughing at whoever did that. I would have started laughing.
There probably were people laughing.
I would have been like, oh, she's new. Oh my God, that is so good, Paula. Oh my God. You win. I don't even need to tell you mine, but
okay.
No, I'm going to tell you mine.
Yeah, it tells me.
Okay, so summer has arrived, essentially. Yes. And in our area, because I'm near the river and we have an easement in the back, we have mosquito issues. We're really good about it, but, they still show up at night. And so occasionally one will get into the bedroom. And I don't know about you, but have you ever been at night and there's a mosquito and it always buzzes your ear?
Always. You're laying there and all of a sudden you hear,
oh my God. I hate that so much. I can't. It's awful.
I accidentally punched myself in the eye one time trying to smack it away from my face.
Okay, so you understand where I'm going with this.
Yes.
It's not necessarily insomnia, but I have been struggling to fall asleep at a decent hour. So I've been falling asleep anywhere between midnight and 12:30, which is a little late because Daryl can fall asleep at like 8:30. He's a morning person. So We're real different in our sleeping schedules. So I'm watching Rick and Morty and I'm just sitting there quietly. I turn off the TV and I'm getting adjusted to lay down and try to fall asleep. And all of a sudden I hear this.
Oh God, I hate that.
And at first, because I'm kind of deaf, I'm not sure if my ear is ringing or if there's a mosquito. So I'm like, wow, is my ear ringing like that? Because sometimes that does happen. And then I realized no, because I can also feel like a baby fan. I can feel it.
Yeah.
So I panic because I think everything is a spider at first. I boxed my own ear so hard. I woke up Daryl. He's like, what's happening? And I go, I think there was a mosquito. He turns on the light. I killed it. I literally killed it. I reacted so quickly that I killed the mosquito. I actually demolished the mosquito.
Where was it? On your face?
It was on my ear. So I took my ear, I cupped my ear, and what I meant to do was just brush my ear and, brush it away. But instead, I cupped my ear and I boxed my ear. Paula, I was deaf for a whole day.
Oh my God.
I literally boxed my ear. And so he's like, well, you killed it. And I said, I killed it? He goes, yeah, here. And I was like, oh my God. And I said, and the next day I said, I can't hear anything. And he said, you boxed your own ear. I said, I really did. And it scared me too, because I thought, he goes, do you think you punctured your eardrum? And I said, I don't know. I said, let's give it a day. And then it came back. But I was like, and then of course I go down the road of, this is how they used to punish children in orphanages. They used to box their ears. This is horrible. I would never do that to a child.
That's horrible.
I know. So yes, I was like you. I basically punched myself in the ear. I couldn't believe it. But you absolutely win. I mean, that's like a $25,000 awkward moment. I mean, that was brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh my God, that was so funny. I was so embarrassed.
Paula, that is so good. I've done that before. One time I was watching, it was a long time ago. I was watching Sleepless in Seattle at the movie theater, and it was a premiere. Yeah. And it was the part where she's saying, I can't do this. I can't marry you. You know, they're sitting at the table right before she sees the sign of the heart come up on the Empire State Building. And he goes, I love you, but let's take that out of this. Okay, that's not supposed to be a hilarious moment, but I'm sitting in a quiet theater. And he goes, I love you, but let's leave that out of this. And I'm all, and I laughed really loud because I thought it was funny. I swear to God, everybody turned and wanted to know where the cackle came from. I was the only one. And I go, is that not supposed to be funny? Like, okay, never mind.
Like, no, it's actually quite sad.
It's actually quite sad that he wants to leave love out of it. I was like, oh my God. So anyway, I had to teach myself, okay, not funny, not funny. Anyway, yours was funny though. You win. Yay!
I am a winner for being a loser.
I'm a winner. Oh, and by the way, Memorial Day, we did see the Han Solo movie.
Oh yeah,
we took Tyler to see it. We always go to a late night show so that we don't have any kids, because kids get bored really quickly. And of course, somebody decided to take their, I assume, grandchild, who was about 10, and his friends to see it at the late show. And of course, I am sitting next to the child. Shockingly.
Oh, God.
Of course. So not only does he, and you know, they're spoiled, so they have like every possible snack and the Slurpee and the candy and everything. And so the movie begins and he immediately reaches for his Skittles, which he opens and promptly dumps all over the ground. Mm-hmm. So for the rest of the show, I feel like I'm standing on marbles, you know, under my feet. And he ultimately fell asleep. And I was like, why would you spend this much money for a kid to fall asleep? Now, I don't know why he fell asleep. Han Solo was actually really good. I don't care what people say. It was a great movie. Tyler, who hates everything, loved it.
Really?
Yes, it's so good. And people are like, it had a soft opening. It only made $100 million. I said, only $100 million. Okay. That seems pretty good to me. I don't know. Apparently that's a flop, but I thought that was pretty good.
I hear a lot of people who were saying it just wasn't really that good.
We loved it, and everyone I know loved it, but it's also not super CGI'd, and you know, it's not, you know, an explosion every minute. There's actually acting, and it's subdued in that aspect, and I really enjoyed it. We all did. We really did. And there's a lot of cool stuff. If you're a Star Wars fan, that explains a lot of the stuff for the very first one that came out in 1977. So I think in that aspect, it was really cool. So I highly recommend it. If you're a Star Wars fan, I think most people will really love it. If you're just going to go, maybe you'll be bored, but I don't think so. I thought it was great. So, you know, that's just my take on it. I loved it.
Good.
Go see Han Solo if you want. So, all right. Well, I think that's a wrap for this week.
Yeah, definitely wrap. So thank you for letting us take a break, but we're back now. We are still plugging our Amazon link and our Lip and Clip website, which will take you directly to the Avon site for you to purchase some orders.
Lipandclip.com.
Father's Day is coming up, and so if you're thinking about doing some shopping, please visit Amazon. Not that maybe your father wears makeup, you can definitely go to Avon.
Hey, they have a men's section for skincare.
They do.
And colognes and body washes.
So thanks everybody for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday with more fun, and we will see you then. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.